is YourTeacher.AI, a platform that was developed by Xiaoma NYC, a known polyglot YouTuber, guy who surprises people by speaking their language, still the #1 platform in the world powered by AI to actually help you learn new languages? Well, if you'll recall, I actually reviewed this for the very first time back in October, and the results were not that promising. Now, one of the things that I mentioned is that as the platform was continuing to come along, I would do occasional reviews on it, talking about the progress on how far they've come. And they've come pretty far in the last couple months. When I reviewed it for the first time, it was in its infancy. The voices didn't work properly, the language tutoring kind of sucked as a whole because it just constantly would divert off onto random topics, and it wasn't really in a stage that I could recommend it to people. But I came to be proven wrong. Just a few months later, they had corrected pretty much all of the gripes I had with it and had made the necessary changes to make the platform viable, something that I wouldn't recommend for absolute beginners in a new language, but for people who were self-starters and were willing to learn, or maybe had a little bit of knowledge in a particular language already, the ability to learn and have conversational skills developed by using this platform. But that was back in December. Today, I'm going to be showing you everything that's changed on the platform, where it's actually going, and the drama that's happened in the last couple months as a result of the tech not being able to handle the amount of people that are honestly trying to use it. We're going to be breaking things down on the improvements they've made on the platform, the new features they've added, and what the future is going to look like for YourTeacher.AI. Because to be honest, this is probably the last time I'm going to get a chance to review this platform before they release their mobile app, which they've been working on for some time now. This is promising to take everything from the YourTeacher.AI desktop version and put it on a mobile app. Now, here's why YourTeacher.AI incorporating language learning in a hands-free model is such a big deal. Back when I reviewed this for the very first time, one of the biggest problems people had with it was the fact that you literally have to hold down the space bar, let go of the space bar, wait for it to, listen to your answer, give an answer back, and then you would do the same thing again. It wasn't really intuitive, and it really didn't emulate the idea of having a full-on conversation with somebody in another language or trying to learn in another language conversationally in real time. If hands-free real-time learning came to this platform, you could literally sit and have a conversation with an AI for several hours as you practice and memorize these different phrases, words, and other things that you need to know. It's a way that you could simply gamify the aspect of language learning simply by sitting down and having a conversation for a couple hours. Now, the #1 complaint that I've gotten from people on my YouTube videos is the fact that people are asking, well, chat-gpt can just do this. Chat-gpt can just do anything, really. And because the base model of what a lot of these AI applications are built on are powered by chat-gpt and the technologies that power chat-gpt, many of the things that you can do on this platform are something you can do on chat-gpt. So people ask me, they say, Josh, why can't I just use chat-gpt to do this exact same thing? And as I always have to point out, the fundamental technologies that make chat-gpt work aren't the same experience as you would have on a platform like YourTeacher.AI, because of the fact that YourTeacher.AI cultivates an experience around language learning. If you had to go and manually type in, you are a language learning teacher teaching me Italian and these are the things I want to learn, it's not very conversationally friendly. And even though OpenAI does have hands-free models for ChatGPT that allow you to talk seamlessly in real time, that isn't an intuitive experience for language learning. With what YourTeacher.AI is looking to do, and honestly what they've done already, they are looking to make it so that they can take all of those great experiences that can happen on ChatGPT and cultivate them so that you as the consumer aren't having to spend dozens of hours just individually typing in prompts each time over the course of you actually using the product. That's not very intuitive at all. The idea of going hands-free and literally just being like, posso avere un tavolo per tre, per favore? Oh, posso avere? Oh, grazie. And just having a full-on conversation as you're learning it without having to think about, oh, what prompt am I going to put in next? How am I going to progress the conversation is what makes this platform so intuitive. Now, in the last couple months since I made a video talking about YourTeacher.AI, the platform has absolutely blown up. There have literally been thousands of people trying to get on the platform. And that led to a few technical problems. Situations where the application would be down for literally hours at a time because the application simply couldn't handle the overload of people. There were too many people who wanted to learn languages. And that just highlights exactly what I've talked about in the past, where the convenience of learning a language whenever you want to, as opposed to being stuck on a tutor's time, is one of the conveniences of it. People say, oh, but the same thing could be said about ChatGPT. Yes, but ChatGPT isn't specifically cultivated for language learners. So what do? Well, as a software engineer, I know what that position is like. The position to be in where your app is crashing constantly. It simply can't handle the amount of users that are trying to use it. It needs to be restructured. But no matter how much you try, you can't resolve it. So how did the team at YourTeacher.AI resolve it? They scrapped everything and rebuilt it from the ground up. Literally, the platform that I reviewed back in October is not the same platform I'm going to be reviewing today. Because in today's video, I'm going to be showing you what they've rebuilt from the ground up with new systems, new servers that can handle the thousands of people who are trying to learn from YourTeacher.AI. So if you're just learning about Teacher.AI for the very first time from this video, consider yourself lucky because of course all the people who did have to suffer through the hours of downtime got free memberships as a result of it for a month, but you are going to be seeing the prime of what this application can actually be. All of the features that we're going to be talking about today all come from the fact that language learning should be made as efficient and convenient as possible. It's going to be able to actually have an AI teach you any language that you could think of and teach it in a way that works the best for you. ChatGPT can do the exact same thing, as so many people have pointed out, but cultivating an experience, the whole language learning concepts, the user interface, everything that YourTeacher.AI has built up is what differentiates it from ChatGPT, because it takes on those same fundamental technologies and makes it more convenient by building on top of it. This is the new YourTeacher.AI. It looks exactly the same. Honestly, when I came back to the platform for the first time after they had made the change, I never even realized that it was a different platform. But it is completely different, built from the ground up. And it's running on GPT 4.0 now, which makes it even faster than it's ever been. Not only have they added more languages, but they've actually gone through the process of adding even more language tutors for each different language. And some of those are people that you might know if you're familiar with polyglots on YouTube, people who speak a lot of languages. From this here, we can see that there is all of these ones, as you might have seen as we talked about in a previous video. You've got your Arabic, Brazilian Portuguese, Bulgarian, Chinese, Chinese traditional, Croatian, and the list goes on and on and on. And now obviously in the last video, I know a lot of people were like, where's Japanese? Japanese is here now. There's actually Japanese you can learn on YourTeacher.AI, Romanian, Russian, Slovak, Spanish, Swedish, Tagalog, Turkish, Ukrainian. There are so many languages on here, but just in Italian, they've added so many more language tutors. If I actually go and I try and swap from Leonardo Russo, you can see that they've added a whole bunch more people in. Now we have Marco Rossi, Benny Lewis, Leonardo Russo, David, I don't know how to pronounce that, but you can see that it's not just AI avatars anymore. There's actual people on the platform. So if you've been held back by the idea of, oh, well, this person doesn't really look like a real person, I kind of know that they're not a real person, you could actually use a tutor that's based off of someone's real voice. And if that makes you more comfortable in your language learning experience, then when the hands-free model eventually does come out, it's going to be amazing and seamless from what you would actually get from a real human tutor. As scary as that might sound for some people. Buongiorno, Leonardo. Posso avere un tavolo per tre, per favore?
Buongiorno, Josh. Certo, un tavolo per tre. Seguimi, per favore. Vuoi vedere il menù?
Sì, grazie.
Perfetto, ecco il menù. Vuoi un consiglio su cosa ordinare?
As you can see here, the pronunciation is a lot better than it was. A lot of people talked about in that very first video I did, and even in the second video, that the voices still had a little bit of a twist to them that was maybe better for some type of Italian speakers, but not always representative of every Italian speaker. But for this voice, and what I need to actually practice as somebody who just simply wants to learn conversational Italian at a foreign level, I think that this is a great job at the way that it does these pronunciations. Of course, if you're a tourist and you're going to be going and visiting somewhere, it's obviously not going to be 100% accurate. But also, if you want to get to the point where you're going to be fully 100% conversationally fluent, you would eventually get to the point where you would hire a real tutor. But by using this platform, you could practice at any given time. And I think that convenience just offsets this fact. And even so, I enjoy how the voice sounds. So in this case, if I didn't actually know what they were saying here and I highlight this, I can see, do you want advice on what to order? Okay, yes, I would. Sì, per favore.
Perfetto, Josh. Ecco il menù. Oggi abbiamo come piatti del giorno: 1 pasta al pomodoro, 2 risotto ai funghi, 3 pesce alla griglia. Cosa ti piacerebbe ordinare?
These all sound like really good options. Now you might be seeing here, why does it say, let's resume our conversation from where it left off? Well, I can answer that question for you, because not only do you have the ability to have somebody actually talk to you, but if you just want the tutor to respond with text and you respond with no audio, so you don't actually hear what they're saying, you can mute your tutors now. If I wanted Leonardo to not speak to me, and I could just do that, I mute him, and I could say, okay, risotto a funghi, per favore. And I won't have any audio come back. It'll just simply say, quasi perfetto, Josh, e risotto ai funghi. Oh, so I said, said I fungi. So obviously that's a pronunciation thing. I'll turn that back on. And I actually want him to repeat this. Mushroom risotto.
Risotto ai funghi.
Risotto ai funghi. Risotto ai funghi, per favore. Funghi. Funghi.
Quasi perfetto, Josh. La parola corretta è funghi, non
Funghi.
fanghi.
Funghi.
Prova di nuovo. Risotto ai funghi, per favore.
Risotto ai funghi, per favore. Risotto ai funghi, per favore.
Quasi, Josh.
Risotto ai
La
funghi,
frase corretta è
per favore.
risotto ai funghi, per favore.
Funghi.
Quasi perfetto, Josh. In italiano diciamo per favore, non por favore. Ripeti per favore. Risotto ai funghi, per favore.
Risotto ai funghi, per favore. Okay, there we go.
Perfetto, Josh. Ottimo lavoro. Ecco il risotto ai funghi. Desideri qualcosa da bere con il tuo pasto?
As you can see here, there's a major difference in the way the actual speed of the language learning interaction is actually going. Because I'm able to get such quick responses in real time, and for him to talk much faster at a much more Italian-speaking tone and accent, it actually makes it much more easy for me to understand what he's saying and respond quickly in real time, which makes the whole process of language learning much easier because I'm not having to sit here and just kind of wait for 10 seconds for him to actually respond back to me, which is great. And if you're wondering why he's correcting me so much over the smallest details, that's because in my personal preferences that I've set up with YourTeacher.AI, I've actually gone and set, please correct me on everything I say and do not let me move on. You do have the option, if you choose to enable it, to actually just have the teacher note down what you got wrong and continue on with the interaction. This could be great for some beginners because if this seems a little bit daunting about knowing every single thing, you can customize it to be the way that you want it to be. At this point though, I should know enough basic conversational Italian to know to not make mistakes like funghi instead of funghi. And in the case that you are a beginner, you still have the ability to go and translate everything in real time to your native language. So in this case, if I didn't know what he said here, I could just simply hit that translate button and we can see, perfect Josh, great job, here's the mushroom risotto. Would you like something to drink with your meal? Sì, un birra grande, per favore. Did I say por? I probably picked up maybe saying por, P-O-R, instead of P-E-R. Yeah, okay, so exactly. That's a little quirk that I need to go and fix. So he's probably gonna, yeah,
Quasi,
exactly.
Josh. In italiano si dice birra per bir e per favore, invece di por favore. Dovrebbe essere, sì, una birra grande, per favore. Potresti ripetere?
Sì, una birra grande, per favore. Oh, pera grande.
Quasi, Josh. In italiano bir si dice birra, non pera.
Birra.
Ripeti per favore. Sì, una birra grande, per favore.
Sì, una birra grande, per favore. Nailed it.
Perfetto, Josh, hai detto tutto correttamente. Il cameriere risponde, va bene, una birra grande, qualcos'altro. Come risponderesti?
Again, if I didn't know what he was actually saying here, I just hit the translate button and I could see what it says in real time. The waiter responds, all right, one large beer. And then if I wanted to swap to my native language, I could say, how would I say, that's everything, thank you?
In italiano diresti, è tutto, grazie. Prova a ripetere, è tutto, grazie.
È tutto, grazie.
Perfetto, Josh. Ottimo lavoro. Cameriere. Va bene, buon appetito. Se hai bisogno di altro, fammi sapere. Vuoi continuare con un'altra situazione o hai qualche domanda specifica?
And so it's interesting, as you start to actually practice on the platform, you start to understand what specific words mean, just from taking the words that are in your native language and what you know of the language that you're actually learning and understand this. So for example, that final sentence there, when I was first learning Italian back in October before I knew pretty much anything, I would probably look at that last sentence and not really know what it said. But now I can pick out specific words like situation or specific to know that he's asking me, do I want to continue with the situation where we're role playing actually ordering in a restaurant, or do I want to change to something else? This is something that's so interesting, especially on a platform that's AI to human as opposed to human, when it comes to language tutoring. And as is always, you can always see what vocabulary you've actually gone ahead and learned by going to the vocabulary section. We could see what words I've learned when I learned them and add, active vocabulary, again, passive vocabulary, new phrases. So let's check out some new phrases. Risotto ai funghi. Funghi.
Risotto ai funghi.
Risotto ai funghi. So if I ever go to an Italian restaurant again, in Italy, I could ask for risotto ai funghi. And then we have, do you want advice on what to order? Hey Josh, welcome back. Yes, I prefer a table near the window, please. These sort of things that you can begin to learn on a platform like this. And if we go to the other section here, the 310, we can see the active vocabulary, things like beer, pear, big, mushrooms, mud, risotto, etc. Learning this way, you can really start to get the hang of what specific words and phrases and specifically grammar you're actually learning. So what comes next for YourTeacher.AI? Well, the main thing is the mobile app. They now have 2 different development teams continuously working on the app, and it should take everything that is on the desktop version and bring it to mobile. The ability to just have a hands-free experience where you're actually talking to somebody in real time, and by somebody I mean an AI tutor, and learning and practicing those conversational skills is going to really make it much, much easier for you to learn it over time. The best way to become fluent in a language, especially over a long-term period of time, is by actually practicing in small increments, taking 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there, and just having that practice. Obviously, with it being on a desktop only, that makes it a lot harder to practice. But once it's on mobile, all you have to do is take any free time that you have, maybe 10 minutes after class or 20 minutes before work, and simply pull out the application and have a conversation in Italian, French, Spanish, anything for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, as long as it takes for you to learn just a new phrase. So if you implement those habits and have those tiny amounts of time that you can just simply practice for even just a few minutes, you'll quickly find that over time, you are quickly becoming a fluent language learner in the language that you're actually practicing. And the coolest part is this application just keeps evolving. The next languages I know they have up in their schedule to actually get implemented are Hindi, Tamil, and Filipino. So that's pretty cool. If you're anybody who's ever been interested in learning one of those languages, now is a great time to sign up for the platform because of the fact that they are continuously implementing new languages. Is the platform perfect? No. But a good platform should never strive to be perfect. The best platforms are the ones that continuously listen to their users' feedback and make the necessary changes in order to give everyone the best experience. For this platform in particular, I can clearly see that in the last 7 months that it's been since I last reviewed YourTeacher.AI, they have done an amazing job at not only building the entire application up from the ground again, but starting on a mobile app and implementing the needed features that make this experience so great. Again, the differentiation between this and something like chat-gpt is that Teacher.AI is cultivated for this process. It's cultivated for language learners. In entrepreneurship, there are always going to be people who would say, why would I use that when I could use this? But the reason that they will always go to that over this is because of the convenience. It provides a cultivated experience that makes the whole process easier. Do you think people would be interested in learning languages in ChatGPT if they had to give it a different prompt every time? Most of the time, people don't even want to type in the full text. They just want to have a shortened version or, not even put in the connecting words just so that ChatGPT almost understands what they mean. Kind of understand the intention. So in a world where people don't even want to put in a complete sentence into ChatGPT, a platform like YourTeacher.AI existing for language learners and enabling somebody to actually learn a language on their own time with the convenience of having it be taught by an AI, but with the improved features of having it be almost seamless, makes this whole process so exciting. In the past 10 months that it's been since I started learning Italian, I've seen my Italian significantly progress, at least conversationally. And even though it's been months since I've been to Italy and don't have any plans on going back anytime soon, it is so cool to continue to learn the language every single day, because I know that by the time I do eventually go back, I'm going to be well versed enough to have full fluent conversations because I was learning in little chunks. And that is exactly what a platform like YourTeacher.AI offers. As always, if you're interested in trying out YourTeacher.AI for yourself, I'll leave a link down to it in the description below. Like I said before, I don't think I'm going to do a whole review video on this, maybe a few specific languages, until the mobile app is released. Once they have got the full seamless experience of just talking to somebody conversationally using this platform, I am going to give a full comprehensive review. And I'm hoping that it's going to come sooner rather than later. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. My name is Josh Mountain, and I'll see you in the next one.